Alright guys, we are live. Let me make sure everything is straight. Cool, alright, it's looking pretty good. Let me know in the comments if you're getting good quality, you hear the audio, you hear me, all that good stuff. Drop a like before we get started. Alright. Hello, hello. We got audio, guys. Alright, someone said they saw me at Tuneva, Chicago, but I wasn't there. Sorry. It was my doppelganger, Mango. Clap 3 times if I love you. Good quality. Okay, you guys got sound? Awesome. Okay. Here we go. We're going to jump into some photos that were shot yesterday. We got these 2 RLs. This blue one is an OG in the game. He's been around for a very long time with Liberty VIP. And then we have this very nice white one. Should we start with the blue one or the white one? Or we have a group photo. I don't know if we should start with this one because this one's going to be like a long process. I think maybe we'll warm up with the white one. Sitting on these VSKFs. Alright, we're going to go with the white one. So, this was shot on the A7R2 with the Rokinon 35mm and the Guinness Tech polarizer variable ND combo, which was nice because I was able to dial down neutral density and still strobe at 2.8, which was very cool. I haven't done something like that yet. Alright, should we do front end or rear 3/4, direct rear? I think we might do front end first. There's a slight echo. Okay, let's see what's up. Okay, I muted one of the things. All right. Who's all in here? We got Kevin. What up, Kevin? We got Roscoe. What's up, Roscoe? We got Seb. Seb's in here. Lowered Lifestyles in here. What's up? Hey. Hey. A Kaisel Salim style photo, man. That dude's a madman. I don't know if I can get on that level. But all right, so let's do this front 3/4 first. So we have a couple of different exposures here. We have our base exposure where the car is polarized over on the side here. If you take a look right here, polarized over on the side, and then we have our next exposure. The car is polarized for the front. We have another exposure just for our headlights here to get the detail in the headlights there. We have a strobe side. I did this twice because that first one was a little hot. So we have it here again. We have our front. This one's very hot. This one's much better. And then we have our front from the other side. And back over here again. And then we also have, this was going on looking the opposite way while we were shooting, but I didn't want to move the car by that point, so we shot the same focus range, same settings and everything. We're going to take this sky and put it here. I'm not sure what the echo is, guys. Is it like bad? Let me know. Because I only have one mic source, so I'm not sure. Actually, I have an idea. turned the audio off on the A7, so that maybe that's the culprit. Aha. Alright, Takumi just debunked it for us. I think I know what it is. Alright guys, I just want to get all this organized and then we'll jump right into it. Let me just peep the stream on my phone. It's gone now. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Just gave myself some ad revenue. Alright. So we're going to be using Lightroom and we're going to be using Photoshop. Lightroom is for our base adjustments. Anything you could have done in camera, we will do in Lightroom, and then we will put it all together in Photoshop later. So here we go. Alright. I'm going to work with this one. So I was a little underexposed. I don't go too crazy over here. Just kind of balance things out a little bit. That looks good, right? Joking. Right, a little bit there. And let's bring that white balance back. 5600, warm it up a little bit. Because this car is actually painted Bentley Continental GT, whatever they call their white, that's what it's painted. Very nice. Full metal fenders. Beautiful fitment. Alright, so we are going to take that. We are going to copy those settings. Waterfest video, I'm not sure when it's dropping. You would have to ask Chris on that one. Because he's the one editing on that one. It's going on his channel. Also, if you haven't seen the Dustin Williams documentary video he just dropped, definitely got to check that out after the stream. Great stuff. Alright. I'm going to blow it out a little bit because if I take it all the way down, it looks a little unnatural in my opinion. Let's see what else is going on here. Alright, we're good now. What up, Ken? What up, PV Production? That is an RL, CRBR. What's up, my dude? I forgot your real name. I am sorry. Christian? I'm not sure. When am I coming back to Florida? I don't know. I have plans at the moment. I'd love to. If you guys have shows you're attending in Florida and you need to hit up whoever's throwing it and you need to tell them to bring me down there, and I will come down there, no problem. Alright. It's looking a little too creamy. Let's neutral that out a little bit. Just drop the white balance down a little bit, maybe 5K. And it's also a little green. There we go. Alright, so we're going to take the settings for that strobe layer. Not going to use that one, I don't think. We're going to use this one. Except the hotness of the strobe between the two is a little different. What's up, Brazil? Alright, those two looking good. And then I love this one here. And I think I just did this one for safety. It's also a little hot. Let's bring it down. There we go. Okay. It's a little off axis. We're running out of that blue hour, so I was kind of rushing this a little bit. Wasn't too concerned about how level the horizon was while shooting it. So let's just take that real quick. Let's fix that on all these. 1. What's up, Puerto Rico? How's everybody doing there? Hey, Liam's in the chat. What's going on, Liam? Simply Clean would be tight. I would love to go Simply. It's been around for so long and I've never gone. Alright, so let's get these exported. I'm going to export these as PSDs, so they are... You can, if you want to export anything lossless from Lightroom to anywhere else. You can do a TIFF, but I'll just do PSD. I just prefer it. Resize, turn that off. Alright, we're good to go. Alright. Looking good, looking good. Okay, almost all exported here. There we go. This is on that drive. Here we go. 904 to 911. Okay, so the camera did move a little bit. That's alright. So we're going to start by taking this exposure. Let's get those headlights on there real quick, and then we can move on. There's a few ways you can do this. You can go pen tool, or you can go lasso. Personally, for me, I'm a lasso guy, and I'll just click a million times. Alright, let's get a little more comfy. There we go. I usually set the feather on the lasso to like 1, because I want it to be like a hard edge. But I don't want to feather it out too much. Ken, this was shot on an A7R2, which is what's filming the stream right now. Hey, Alex, I appreciate that a lot. That's cool to hear. That's what's important, is just going out there and trying to create the work for yourself, you know? Versus, I see a lot of people just kind of like buying gear and then expecting jobs and work to kind of come to them. That's not, you know, that's not how it goes. So good on you for doing that. Make sure we're lined up here. Not at all. There it is. Alright, it's a little too dark, so what we're actually going to do here is blend them a little bit. We're just going to go, hey, what's up? You're leaving? Alright. Love you. Have fun. Alright. We're going to blend them a little bit. So we have our exposure here and our exposure here. And what I really wanted to preserve was just the detail in the projectors and the turn signal lights there. So just go like 15, a little bit. Or we could even do, actually let's do this. Let's get our eraser tool going. Find a nice size. Set the hardness to 0, make sure it's all feathered out, and we are just going to erase the black. Everything you're watching me doing is all just kind of like my way of doing it. By no means is it probably the correct way, but once I kind of like learn how to do something, I just kind of like run with it. I'm sure there's much more efficient ways for stuff to be pulled off, but it's just how I'm comfortable doing it, you know? Sony, I mean, for photo, I mean, you're going to get great results out of a Sony or a Canon. It's all about just what you prefer. For me, it has to be Sony because it also shoots great video. And I mean, Canon has made strides in the, you know, recent years with their video abilities, but in the Sony ecosystem for me, so I'm going to stay here. What up, UK? Dustin, yeah, I could, the align layers thing has worked for me before, and it's also not worked for me, so I kind of just like, I'm a very manual person. I do everything manually. Like, I hate automatic bill pay. I just like to do stuff manually. I don't know. Alright, so we have our 2 strobe layers here. I brought the front layer over to the side shot. And what we're going to do, there's a few ways we can go about it. So we can do lighten layer, and that blending mode essentially means that whatever has the lightest value out of all the layers is going to come to the top. And then another way you can cheat something, let's say I strobed the front end here and I strobed the side here, and there was a big gap and we need to kind of fill it in. You can actually do a screen layer. In this case it's super overexposed, but if you have the right situation, screen layer does work. And then, but we're gonna go back with lighten here. What am I getting an FK8? What's an FK8? Is that like a Civic Coupe? Well, I'll see. I just typed in SK8. Ah, yes, okay, the new one. I didn't know their chassis code. I would love to. If anyone has a FK8 Civic, hit me up. Alright, so these are looking on point. I'm just going to go back to normal here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, to the screen layer. There we go. And we have that front fender area we still need to fill in a little bit. This shot does it, but it also kind of kills the shape of that fender. Bring this one over. Five, 6 Productions. There are cheap alternatives, like who is that just said that? Danny just said, yeah, the package is $9.99 a month, but if you're really in that position, let's say I don't know if you're 16 and you don't have a job yet or anything, but get yourself a free month of a VPN and torrent it. They're pretty torrentable. You didn't hear that from me though. All right, there we go. See, now that I brought in the fender, the front fender being lit, I lost that contrast line on the hood here, which I really like. Even though it's just kind of you can see the line of it, but I would love for it to be shadowed instead. So let's take a look here. There we go. So I basically just erased the front fender layer we had. I erased that away to bring back that hood body line. Let me Control Z that for you so you can watch it again. Okay. FBI open. Oh, you guys are funny. Yes, the owner of this car is Issa IRL as Dave. Oh, David's in here. What's up, David? Okay, that's you. When is Touring Over Chicago coming out? I didn't go, so I don't have an answer for that. But my friend Brandon, who shoots all the other Touring Overs with me, did shoot it, so there will be one by him. When it comes out, I do not know. It just wrapped, so give him a minute. Give him a minute. All right. Louis Gustavo asked, will there be color correction video for video? Yes, at some point. I would like to kind of think of a structure system to like creating consistent live streams or consistent editing content. And once we get like past SEMA time, my schedule slows down a bit and we can start getting into that type of content a little more. All right. So I'm actually going to bring down the overall strength of that middle layer a bit. This is it at max, but I think I prefer it a little bit somewhere 85-ish. Now I'm just going to kind of go on an overall cleanup. Alright, this one we can get rid of. What focus mode to use? It depends on what you're shooting. If you're shooting rolling content, I would probably keep it on just like center wide. And then there are like the single point autofocus is very useful if you put it in the right spot. That's great for shooting detail stuff like say wheel bolts or engine bay parts, and you frame it the right way. Alright, looking good. Looking good. Alright, we just need to get rid of my stupid ass over here. Even though I don't know if I'm gonna use the ground on this exposure, it might be handy to just have. So let me just get rid of myself. Ooh. Actually, alright, let's go without it. Alright, let's merge these puppies down. Hey, what's up, Japan? What's going on over there? Ooh, alright. What's this? Okay. Let's name our layers here so we don't get lost, even though this one isn't that complicated overall, but okay, so we got a few things we need to shift up here. We got to get rid of the windshield and the windows we just brought over. Alright. Freezing, okay. Stand by, guys. We're back? Are we back? Looks like we're back. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what happened. The stream health was reporting good from YouTube. Internet connection good. So, alright. I'm going to do one of these just to watch it happen on my phone so I can see what's going on here. Okay, so we're back. We lost a few people, but shout out to the people that are still here. Let's get back into it. So I'm not sure where it froze at, but we brought over our strobe layers onto our base exposure here. So now we need to get rid of some stuff. Just going to start with the obvious, the sky, a little bit of the foreground, and then I want to see how much of this ground down here we want to keep. Alright, enjoy your homework, Landon. Devani, this was just a little photo session. Nothing too wild. Alright, after we get all this together, we are going to get into little detail stuff like getting rid of these hot spots here and just cleaning up the body overall. I'm not crazy about using the ground from the strobe shot, so we're just gonna get rid of all of it, just keep our car in there. I will keep the hard shadow for now. Computer specs, we have a, it's a bit outdated. I had it built in, what year? I had it built in 2016. I had it built in summer of 2016. Still doing great. I would like to start upgrading soon, but it is a Intel i6700 with a NVIDIA GTX 980. 4 gig of RAM. We have 64 gigs of Kingston HyperX RAM, and it is water cooled. It's not the prettiest. I didn't really set it up to be pretty. That's something I would like to do with the new build. Just kind of like RGB the living hell out of it. We're just gonna basically just need to trace away from the edge of the car. There we go. Oh. Mac, what do you have on your PC? Yeah, I agree. Right now I don't have the means to work on my car, or at least get it to like what I want it to be like. So modding other stuff and like accumulating camera gear we'll have to do for now. Alright, let's get rid of this windshield. Bring back our lovely polarized windshield. Let me just make sure that's, yeah. Pristine auto wrap, I'm super down. Not sure where you guys are located, but you got any cars you need shot, feel free to reach out. Let's make it happen. If you guys have any Photoshop, Lightroom questions, or like shooting in general questions, at least let's talk photos since we're working on photos today. If you guys have any of those questions, feel free to drop them in. I got my phone right here, so I can keep an eye on the comments. All right, goodbye, old windshield. Few other things that need to go here. I do want to keep the strobe pillar because I do like the contrast that's going on there. But we got to get rid of windows. Or we can at least go back and I'm going to bring that in. Okay, let's do that real quick. We have our other base exposure with the polarized side that we didn't bring over yet, so we'll go ahead and bring that over. Just bring the exposure up a little bit. This is 903. Okay, while that goes, Mac, that's a sick build. 9700K, that's what I wanted to get. I didn't want to go AMD. Okay, you got the Z390. Alright, cool. I'm going to look into the Z390 because I had a PC part picker build saved. I want to see if that's the one I chose or not. Straight up, Eric. It depends on what you're looking for specifically. And Fabian, yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier. I did say you can go lasso or pen. I'm just kind of like a dude that's in my ways. Because it's going to take the same amount of time. Either way. The lasso just requires more clicking. So I kind of just go with the lasso. How do I organize my photos? I'm still trying to figure that out, Andre. For the most part, just kind of keep everything in one solid folder and then organize hard drives by date and then try and keep related projects together. So all my photo shoots I try and keep on the same hard drive. All the same clients, I try to keep them all on similar hard drives. As you can see, is it in frame? Let's see. Oh. Let's finish up. That's another benefit to the pen tool over the lasso is that you can leave Photoshop while you're using it, whereas the lasso you cannot. Res, you could do shots kind of like it through a phone. It's all about the composition. Like, that's what makes a good photo off the bat. Not so much the light, like, you know, needing to light it or needing a polarizer. It's all kind of just about the basic fundamentals of everything. Gara asked, how do we achieve a good depth of field with a lens that can do that for you. So let's see an example here. So with a lens like the one this was shot with, the Rokinon 35mm, that can go down to 1.4. That's the aperture size. So you can get a nice deep blurred background and a sharp subject. So if you don't know, I'll give you a little demonstration. So here we have the lens at f/22. You can't really see through it. And then here we have it at 1.4, so you can see all the way through it. Closed, open, and that's what determines how shallow the photo is. Toss that guy right there. There we go, we got a nice clean window slate now. Although I want to bring this center pillar back. We are zoomed in 300%. Granada films, yes, polarizers were used here. I actually just picked up a great recommendation from Crispy, and I'll show you as soon as I'm done with this lassoing here. It's a variable neutral density filter and a polarizer built into one, and I got to use it yesterday for both photo and video, and it's amazing. Okay, so this is a polarizer and ND built into one. So right now we can see through it. Gives you plenty of stops in daylight. I was able to shoot at 2.8 during high noon yesterday, and I had plenty of room to stop down. And the polarizer is very strong on it. I highly recommend it. It's made by Guinness Tech, Genustech. It only comes in 72 or 77mm, I believe. So it's not available for everything, but you can always buy step up and step down rings to use on other lenses. Alright, so the overall exposure difference between the car and the background right now is a little extreme, so we can either bring the car down or we can bring everything else back up. And I think that's what we'll do. Kind of bring over our overall exposure everywhere else up a bit. Yeah, I do use a laptop when I'm traveling to edit on stuff. It's not my most preferred method of working, but there really is no other way of working when you're traveling. The laptop isn't nearly as crazy on the specs as the PC, but it's enough to get the job done when we need mobile editing handled, or I need to finish an edit from the computer. Let's blend these headlights in a little bit more. Want to preserve some of that detail, but I want to flare it out a little bit. I'm going to go down to H2O on Wednesday. I don't know how hard I'm going to go with the shooting this year. I kind of just want to hang out. But I think I'm just going to walk around handheld and kind of like capture whatever goes on. Because last year I planned so much stuff and I put so much effort into planning, and I don't even like any of the stuff I shot last year. I mean, I like it, but not as one full piece. So for me this year, I think the better move is just to kind of enjoy it and capture it as I enjoy it. And just see what happens. If I walk away with enough like good stuff for like a, I don't know, 5-minute edit, I'll be happy. But I want all the shots to like really be powerful. I don't really want to shoot just for the sake of like having all this content. I do use After Effects, but like only for title animation or graphic animation. I don't use it to actually edit. I'm not a fan of using it to actually edit like an NLE. There we go. We got a clean grill. All right, so let's clean up some of these hot spots here. So we're just going to grab our clone brush, find a good size. Usually I like to go a little bit, yeah, right around the radius of the hotspot will make the brush. And we just gently swipe away. This car's easy because it's white, but you'll see on the blue car we'll be doing some, if we get that far, we'll be doing some cloning. That's not nearly as easy as that. White's a great color to work with. Kid Infinity's been great. Absolutely great. No problems. Everything that's come out of it, and it just looks so good. It's been totally reliable. Alright. Things that are a big pain in the ass are stuff like this here. Let me make a little marker. That. Because it's this shape of that hotspot that's messing up how clean that line is in between the panels, and it makes it look as if the body gap is weird. So we're just gonna get rid of that there. There we go. Laptop isn't anything crazy. It's an Asus. Has a 940MX graphics card in it. 12 gigs of RAM, and I honestly don't even remember what processor, but it is one of those laptops that you can like crunch the other way. Do I have it up here? No. You can like fold it the other way and it's touchscreen, so it's handy when you're on a plane and space is limited. I just fold it and make it one giant tablet, and I edit like touchscreen style, which is pretty cool. How long I've been doing this? I have been full-time freelance now for just about 5 years, and then before that, I mean, I was taking photos to try and turn it into a job, and then before that, taking photos just to have fun. I mean, we're going back 12 years or so at this point of car life and car photos. So we're just cleaning up our door handles here a little bit. Alright, so we have a very messy door handle here, and we have a very clean one here, so I think what we'll do here is cheat a little bit. Clone this over and pop her on in. It's not going to be perfect, but we will size it as needed. And you'll see what we'll do here is Now we have a nice clean slate to work with. So we'll just merge that down, and then we'll grab the clone tool here and use all that available space to organize and pretty that up. Wow, Justin, that Lenovo sounds real nice. Alright, so we're just on the search for little imperfections. Not towards his car. His car's perfect, but towards my photos rather. So stuff like this on the chrome trim. Might not be I do like the way it kind of shines on the car, and then our reflection here on the chrome trim is because of the headlights, so we are going to leave that. Alright, then we also need to bring over our sky still. These media, yes, they are designed for S-Log2. You can also use them with Cinephore. Cinephore is a great profile to work with if you need to turn around quick, and the colors are a little more accurate than S-Log and be less of a kind of a process to grade overall. And you can use those LUTs with Cinephore. It's just in the creative tab of Lumetri, you can turn down the intensity of it. You can set it around like 40% or so. Alright, so if you weren't in the stream earlier, while we were shooting this scene here, this amazing sunset was going on at the same time, so I kind of rushed to finish the set here. That way I didn't have to like turn the car around, because I really just liked looking through the fence this way. So we shot this scene here at the same settings, same tripod height and all that. So we're going to already applied our settings. Now we're going to bring this sky over, except the sky's a little darker on this side, so let's just do that. That is 9:12. Let's open that baby up. All right, after taking a break and kind of like sitting back a little bit and looking at this now, I think we'll just bring down the overall exposure on the car. Find a nice happy medium somewhere. Just a little bit. Alright, so we got a sky here. We got our image here. Let's see what kind of part we want to use. Alright. Alright, so we can get away with our trees to this point. Let's go with that there. Now I'm just looking at it on a low opacity just to kind of gauge. Let's see if we can get a quick selection on our sky. Right around this building. Oh, no. Let's get that tolerance right. Alright, we're gonna do it manually, so let's max that out a bit. Oh, there we go. It's gonna be our overlay layer that's gonna do the trick for us, possibly. Hard light, no. Yeah, we're gonna go overlay layer. What we can actually do is erase our backgrounds on the top end. Custom Kia. This is an Acura RL. I don't want this to be like crazy sunset type photo. So I'm just gonna want to add a little bit. There we go. Let me check the camera's battery real quick. Oh, we're looking good. We can keep going, baby. I have it set up to a V-lock on top of it. I can actually show you guys with this. So I have a V-mount running, charging the camera as we go. But last time the camera died during stream, we lost everything. So just want to make sure it doesn't happen again. All right. So let's merge our car down. And since we brought in this kind of cotton candy sky a bit, something we need to do is compensate the ground for that, because if the color pink was in the sky, you know, when you see a really strong sunset, it kind of makes everything glow that color. And right now the background's looking very green. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a color balance towards that pink by adding some magenta and some red. So if we preview on, it blends with that sunset a little more. And I want to get rid of this thing. I think it's a building, but I'm not crazy about it. And we have all this tree cover to really help us out with blending that. So first, we're just going to make a layer of this post so we don't clone that by accident. And we're just going to randomize a little bit. If you don't want repeating cloning in your photos, always change your brush size a little bit and kind of just go at it. Now you see if I turn that post layer off, lost it a little bit. But I'm actually gonna erase some of it. That way we still have the effect of the blur, and it's not like a hard line. So right there, if you didn't know I did that, you would have no idea. But just like seeing stuff like this in the background, I'm not crazy about this. I don't know how, you know, how much will go into this with the cloning and all that, but I'm not too crazy about those cars being there. I want to bring in a little more of that sky. Oh yeah, some of that would be great. So we're just gonna get a random selection here. Oh, that looks good like that, right? Just done? Yeah, no doubt. So we'll actually size it up a bit, because I'll show you what we'll do. We will erase with a hardness of 0. So that's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like say you have white and black, but you want to make it all gray. That's like kind of like making your hardness 0. It's like going from a perfect white over here to a perfect black over here with like every shade of gray in between the two. We're just going to find a good brush size. And we're going for subtlety. We're not trying to make it look like this car was beneath the greatest sunset of all time. Alright, so I pretty much got rid of most of it. Take away a little more. We're going to do our brush at a 22% opacity. So before and after. Just get rid of it on that tree. Clicking a bunch. There we go. Alright, now something that I'm not crazy about, again, looking at the image, is I do have a little bit of a shadowy space in here from the two strobe layers not merging together fully. And that's my fault for shooting it that way. But there is a way we can go about fixing it. So we will get our lasso tool. We're just going to kind of make a big selection around this shadow area on the door. Not too worried about how specific or clean it is. We're just going to do that. We're going to layer it as a copy. So now we have that section just by itself. And what we're going to do here is screen layer that. And that looks terrible. But, so we'll put it down 0%. You can't see it. We're going to bring it up just a wee bit. And we want to blend this the darkest part here. So we'll do the line. Screen. There we go. And now we're going to erase the excess. Get our brush back up to 100%, or we will be there for a very long time. Now let's zoom out, take a look. So before and after, we still have a little bit of a shadow area here, but a big difference between the two. Monitor am I using? One I don't recommend, so don't even worry about it. It's a Samsung. It's okay. I do need to make a monitor my next investment, because I'm running dual monitors right here, but I would love to get a nice wide curved monitor that I could just have sit on the desk. Get rid of this leaf. Get rid of this one too. Might have done it. Yeah, it's a hack job there. Something we can do. Just do this. What leaf? Booyah. Leaf? No leaf. Leaf? No leaf. Yeah, BenQ monitor would be sick. Alright. Now, the photo's a little flat overall. It has kind of that faded look to it. We just merged it down, so it's all one image. Everything we do is going to affect everything. So we're going to go to adjustments, curves. We're going to give it a little S curve. Before, after, before, after. And you know what? Looking at it, let's see. Okay. I did lose the roof. So we gotta grab an exposure with the roof and bring that back. This one has a nice one. That is 910. I didn't know Alienware made monitors. That's good to know. Maybe I'll check them out. We have a Micro Center pretty close to where I live, so every time I go there to buy a hard drive, I go and stare at all the monitors. I don't make a decision, but I should do that the next time I go. Now remember, we did our final color balance on this, so now we're bringing this one back over, and you can see the difference between how green the roof I just brought over is and then how pink, or magenta rather, our whole image is. So we will balance that after we get it in place here. Do a little more bump. There we go. Alright, color balance. Add some magenta, add some red. A little too much. There we go. So, with the part of the missing roof gone, we have that. And now with the part of the missing roof brought back over, we have that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to get a drink of water. I will be right back. Alright, water acquired, boys. Stay hydrated. Also, a little White Claw action. White Claw sponsor me. We got the mango. Alright, I think we'll call this photo done for now so we can move on to a different one. Alright, so we did the white RL. Let's do the blue RL. We have this exposure here. I've already prepped this one, so I think we should do this one. This one is the thumbnail of the video, so wouldn't make sense if we didn't do it. Honda Tuner, I do not do these streams daily. They are something I want to do more of, so yeah, tune in, hang out, and we'll get more streams going. Alright, so let's break this one down. We have our base exposure here. This is no strobes, just car. It is exposed a little bit over, but we can bring all that detail right back because we shot in RAW. But I don't even think we need to use that one. And then we have our first strobed exposure here. We're shooting at a 4900 white balance. A little more. There we go. Kind of just balance it out a little bit. Let's take the clarity down a little bit. Bring the highlights up a bit. Front exposure. Front exposure again, but this was just a test shot. And then we're going to have to do some clone work on that. And then we have our rear exposure here. Oh yeah, we're just going to use this image here for the ground. I want to expose it a little more. Alright, so let's get all these exported. Alright, those are exported. Jasmine says, headed to any shows currently. We got H2O next week. Oh my gosh, time is flying, guys. Yeah, we have H2O next week, and then we have First Class Fitment at Princeton Airport on October 5th. If you are anywhere within a one-day driving distance of Princeton Airport, you need to be there because it's their last year ever. And it's the show to be at, man. The vibes, you can't beat them. Let's add a little burn to this image before we get out of here. Just darken up that foreground a bit. Just one stripe. Oh, not doing it. There we go. Yeah, just one little swipe. All right. Let's close. No. Let's save this one. I'm gonna post these ones on Instagram tomorrow, and you gotta let me know in the comments tomorrow on Instagram that you were here in the stream. Oh, you know what? Yeah, never mind. I already merged everything down, so there's no point in saving it as a PSD. So we'll just save it as a nice little JPEG. Yeah, you can totally do this with the speed light. As long as you have a trigger for the speed light. Yeah, my good friend Sempek actually used to take all of the, let's see if we can find any. I'll show you a nice example. This wheel company is not around any longer, but these are all strobe with a speed light here. This is my friend Chris Sempek. He used to do all the photo work for them. This is with the speed light on a light stand, being triggered as a slave. Let's see if we can find another one. This one here. So yeah, you can totally do it with the speed light. 778 to 784. I only opened 2. Good job. There we go. Okay. I will see you at First Class Fitment Syndicate Culture. I got work, plus I got drill. Oh. Blake, you're going to have to explain pre-compass to me. I'm not totally sure what you mean. I feel like an idiot because I don't know. I don't know. New LUTs, I don't want to rush them. I still want to, I probably have about 7 done, and I want to give you guys 20 on this one. So I don't want to rush them. I'm trying to, because now that we've released 2 packs at this point, it's harder to get into different looks, and I don't want them to be a little redundant of each other. Let's say probably before SEMA, definitely. I have a Windows computer, so I've used Final Cut once, but I haven't used both of them enough to like be like, oh, this one. So yeah, Premiere for me. All right, let's get ground over. I exported this one as a 16:9. That's fine. What up, Momo? How you doing, man? Alright, so let's get our ground over first thing. We are going to use... 1 and 2. Alright. So first thing, we're actually going to build the top half of the background for this image. And we're going to do that by copying this one over onto this one. And we are just gonna erase my ugly mug right here. Whoop. I just need everything from the grass up. Take a little extra so we can erase. Gotcha, Blake. Okay. Honestly, I've never done that. I'll have to look into it and give it a shot at some point. Alright, so we not only brought our clean top half over, we brought our rear lit quarter panel, and we're gonna have to do some serious work on this section of the chrome trim. This guy is an old head. He's been in the game for a long, long time. Much respect to him. This car has been around for a minute, and it's very rare to see an RL platform of this stature. Alright, so let's get rid of this here. Let me see who else is in here. Elevated media, I make them in Lightroom, or sometimes I'll make them in Premiere, depending on if they're like final tweaks that I'll do in Premiere. But I export screen grabs and then send them to Lightroom. But I have to export a nice batch of similar situations, like say a very bright sunny day. I'll export a few different shoots and put the LUT in all of them, make sure it works for more than one scenario. Hector, yeah, I still do make music. Working on it. I can't say there's like a level I want to achieve before I can call myself a music producer, I guess you could say. But still trying to make music. I still gotta make tracks for the H2O singles that we're putting out. Yeah, we're working on it. Alright, so we have our front fender exposure here on top and our rear one on the bottom. And we're just tossing them on top of each other with a light-in layer. So here it is normally. No blend mode. Top and bottom. Then we go lighten. And again, if you weren't in here earlier, lighten blend mode means whatever the lightest value of those layers are will come to the top. So it's bringing us the lightest values from layer 1 and layer 2. Now let's erase me over here. Let's just erase any little extra bits hiding around. Cameron, thank you, man. Appreciate the little thought. Is there anything I can't do with the camera? Yeah. I can't. I'm not good at shooting portraits. That is not my thing. I just prefer machines. Alright, we are zoomed in 200% here. Let's get rid of this exposed headlight. Should have had him turn the corner lights on for this. Favorite lens when shooting video? I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I don't think, because they all kind of have their own like specific duty or task. But if I had to pick one, probably the Sony kit lens, just because it's so solid with the autofocus, man. You could toss that at anything and it focuses on point like that. Alright, let's see what else we need to bring over. So we have that one. Let's close that out. Let's see if this adds anything of value. Not really. Alright, so we can get rid of this. Maybe, what about the wheel? No. Okay. That one's gone. This one we brought over. Get rid of it. This one, I don't think I want to use for anything. I do like how it's catching a little bit there, but we'll hold on to it for now. One of these I need to bring over. This is a disaster, but Max here has a wife and kids, and he was at a show all day, so you know you can't hang around for too long on a shoot after a show. So I was trying to get him on his way, but the result of these hotspots here are just the strobe hitting the body lines at the wrong angle. It just takes some guess and test to really find that right angle to shoot it at. But you know what we can do here. Alright. We're going to cheat the system a little bit. We're going to take our over fender here in the back. I don't know why I'm saying over fender. But our fender here in the back, we're going to layer that as a copy. Let's test this real quick, see if it works. I was also selecting the wrong layer. There we go. Alright. Any interest in reaching out from the car community to other aspects of photography and film? For me, my ultimate goal is to shoot totally commercially in the automotive realm. So like, say the Audi Super Bowl commercial or a Lexus ad, something like that. Like that's what I'm aiming for. So for me, cars are what I love. They're what I love to do, and that's where I want to be. So yeah, not really. I just love shooting machines. I'm down for shooting like any sort of commercial work that, you know, maybe like extreme sports, stuff like that. Other than that though, not too much. Alright, this looks like, let's see if this worked. That looks like a front fender to me. And we stole it from the back. We just gotta do some blending work to make the two work together. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to blend all this together. Oh yeah. So this part's going to be tricky, but I think I have an idea. Let's see what it looks like zoomed out. Okay. So see how it goes light here? It's light here and it's dark in the middle. That makes the fender look a little weird. So what we need to do is continue this lightness through this part here and then fade out the bottom a little more. So we'll leave that for now. Come back to it. Let's just clean up these spots here. Ruined media. Well, we got 2 ruined medias in the chat. You guys need to duke it out right now. But that ruined media says, how do you start getting paid for shoots? Essentially, you need to build up your portfolio. You need to prove your value to those you're pursuing. So when it comes to shooting cars like these, like, you know, cars, aftermarket cars, you should look at them as practice for approaching brands and car dealerships to work on, you know, improve your portfolio to prove your worth to them. And really, the way it is, like, when your work is there, people will contact you. You will get reached out. Make sure you have a good website. Make sure you have a good social media presence. Like, it's definitely, you have to wear a lot of hats, but put yourself out there and the work will come 100%. I'm triggering the flash with the trigger that comes with it, so we're using a Flashpoint Explorer 600, and it comes with its own slave trigger, which is what we use for it. So yeah, there we go. Didn't have a fully lit fender, now we do. We just gotta blend it out. Turn our opacity down even more. Dig in further. See how it looks zoomed out? It's got a little like triangular shape to the fender now. So we might need to, I think we need to rotate it a wee bit. There we go. His fenders are arched up a bit. Alright, so we're going to merge this one down just to save on the layerage. And that one we're keeping. Keeping that one up. This one we're merging down. Fastball films, are you editing a photo or creating a painting at this point? Yeah, that's basically what it starts with, is editing a photo, but I don't know how long you've been here, but basically this is multiple photos stacked to create one, and then we're filling in the details as we like. This van in the back's pissing me off. We gotta get rid of it real quick. Whoa. I don't appreciate what XXR does for business, but I mean, hey man, you gotta go with what you can afford. Just don't go around putting work and Volk stickers on them. Sincerely, everyone who owns Works and Volks. I mean, I don't, but you know. So again, we don't want to run into the multiple cloned things situation, so always change up your brush size as you're cloning along. This pose too, man. It's a mess back here. Always change up your brush size and just find random points to pull from. By rigs, I mean, for photos we just use a tripod, and then we have the Ronin to shoot the videos with. Alright, we'll come back to that. It's halfway done for now. That's gonna take a minute. Alright, I like this little hotspot on the door handle. I think we'll leave it. Alright, we need to get rid of this hotspot desperately. Alright. So we could clone this, but something I'll actually show you guys here is, since this is an even gradient all throughout, so we have a nice even blue all throughout, it's all clean up here. What we're actually going to do is grab this, we're going to layer it, copy, and we're going to drag over, and we're going to see how it fits. It might fit a little differently. Edit, transform, skew. We're going to push this up one little pixel. Let's see. Photoshop might not like that. Let's zoom out real quick. Alright. So now you can see the obvious difference between the exposure here and here. So we're going to go levels. And go right till it's blended. Erase what we don't need. Check on where the hotspot is. Okay. Bring the opacity back up. Alright, let's zoom out, take a look at it. So, even though the pixels are aligned, it does have a little bit of like a dip to it when we zoom out. Let's go up one. What we might need to do here, So we're good over here. On the right hand side, we just gotta erase from the left. Go. Kyle, I nitpicked the living shit out of him, so even after we're done, I'm still gonna not be totally stoked. Maybe. I don't know. Blend that in a little more. And there we go. The only thing that's bothering, it does like naturally kind of look like it's shooting up at the end because the way the livery is designed, like it's an arrow kind of effect. Let's just clean up things a little bit. Overall shape of it. Okay, I see what's going on now. Whoa. Wrong layer. What up, Danny? I don't use any shortcuts in Photoshop, so I can't share any Photoshop shortcuts with you. I'm sorry. Whew. All right. What's up, everybody? How many people are in the chat right now? What are we doing? 161. Damn. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all y'all hanging out. I want to do more of these. We've been going for an hour and a half now, so that's cool. And we made it mostly without problems. So thank you. All right. Okay. We are going to take 5. I got to make a phone call real quick. There we go. Here's our be right back sign. Appreciate y'all. We will be right back. This man said, am I calling the police? What? What? That's funny. Alright. We are back. Here we go. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Let's get back to it. Alright, so when it comes to editing these photos and like sitting so close to the screen, you kind of sometimes see things you wouldn't normally see. So sometimes you just got to take a sit back a little bit and just look at it. Alright, let's clean up more of that rear bumper and then we'll get back to the front fender. Or what we could do, you know, what we could also do is we have the reflection here. And see all these little inconsistencies? These are from the trees that are behind us, and let's actually take that and turn that into one smooth reflection. Let's hold on, let's see. Show you guys an example. I hate the new Google image search, the way it just doesn't show you the image and it has to like take you to the site. It's such a pain in the ass. Alright, so let's take this for example. See this smooth body line? I mean, this, for the most part, this is like 90% CGI. But see how smooth that is? And then let's take a look at this. You can see like all the little tree branches. So let's smooth that out a little bit. We are going to work off of, let's see which layer. We actually go ahead and merge this down. Just create that as one layer. Alright, let me see who else is saying stuff in the chat. Ruined Media, does it get started with, you know, shooting people's cars? You just gotta be a personable dude. You just gotta hit them up and, you know, offer yourself. Don't ask for money. Like, that's the thing. Like, if they're giving their time to you, do not ask them for money. If people hit you up asking for photos, then you're in a better position to ask for money. But, you know, if you see a car you like and you have a cool idea for it, just reach out and make it happen. Just going through my layers again. Okay. We'll lock these two for now. Or not. Queen Elizabeth. That's funny. Alright. Just making sure our brush is working here. There we go. So we're simply going to use the clone tool and just follow along the shadow line. This one, thankfully, since it's so dark, we don't have to worry about doubling up on pixels or cloning something too many times because it's all just going to merge into one. So when you're cloning, you hit Alt on the keyboard. I'm not sure if that's the same thing on Mac. Is it that little like loopy sign? Then you click for the area you want, and then you can see the crosshairs on the screen, that's the area it's pulling from, and then the circle is where you are applying that clone. What up, Leyland? How you doing, man? I mean, for prices, if you're just starting out, I mean, 20 bucks, 25 bucks, like, if you have literally nothing to show for yourself, I would just shoot as much as you possibly can and not even accept money. I mean, if people offer you money, take it, but don't ask for money. Just build a killer portfolio and people will start just coming to you, man. We're going to take the ruler, just drag it down. That's kind of the area I want to be in. Merge that down. I find shooting locations entirely via Google Earth Street View, 100%. It's amazing how technology has been helpful for stuff like that. I do know Crowned. I watch his channel. I love his videos. They give me ideas for stuff. Even though it's like Need for Speed, like cinematic videos, like they're still really cool. I love watching them. I have a reflection for the ground. I might. In one of the other ones, it might have reflected onto there. It did not. That would have been cool though, because it is like a gold chrome vinyl. Or bronze. Gonna bring our brush size down even smaller and kind of bring it to a point. There we go. $16 might be too big. Let's go with 11. We're just filling in all these gaps here. We're going to take some from the top. Get rid of those little bumps. Is my PC could play games, but I don't personally. The most gaming I do is PUBG Mobile. And I haven't played that in a little bit. Trying to feather this out. It's like a nice little ramp down. Alright, we can get rid of this ruler mark. If you're in Photoshop and you ever need to bring up your rulers, Control R, and then you can drag right from there and make a line and you can actually automate it to make a certain amount of lines, like a grid, if you need to. All right, let's zoom out. Take a look. All right, so we got to clean up this area a bit here. Let's bring our ruler down, and we want to kind of feather a nice angle from there to going up to there. Yeah, only PUBG. I never got into gaming too much. Bring this side down to match that. Grid life was amazing at Atlanta. Absolutely amazing. I had such a good time. And that track is gorgeous. I don't know if you're asking me that because you went or if you're thinking about going. If you're thinking about going, you should absolutely go to any of the Grid Life events. You should especially consider going to Midwest at Gingerman Raceway in South Haven, Michigan. That one's like their hometown event, and that is a wild time. Yeah, I would definitely love to go back to Puerto Rico next year for Turnivo. Unfortunately, I had to miss it this year. I had some family stuff come up. But I would absolutely love to go. Alright, let's zoom out here. Take a look. There we go. So let's get a before. We'll look at it in Lightroom. Alright, so before, you can see we have all these little bumps and branches in the reflection here. All these inconsistencies. And now we have a nice smooth reflection. Alex, that's awesome, man. Oh, what's up, Eric? How you doing? This picture is totally real. Yes. Nice. What vendor did you do a video for? Alright, we gotta get rid of this little hotspot here. Can I add aliens? I could. What up, Mike? How you doing, man? When it comes to understanding exposure with the strobe, it's always good to get a nice base exposure without it, because that's the one you want to build onto. And then it's all about, first you want to get yourself like a good strobe with a lot of variable power intensities. So like 1 to 1 power, 1 to half power, 1 to 8th to 16th. The one I have goes all the way down to 164 power. And really, when you're just on location shooting, it's all about just kind of, you know, like trial and error. So you'll take one exposure. Oh, it's too bright. Let's turn the strobe down, or let's bump the shutter up a little bit. You can only go so far on the shutter before the shutter's so fast it doesn't even capture the flash. But I mean, the more you do it, the more you'll just know right off the bat. So we're just blending in some more of that blue that got lost in the hotspot there. Oh, Lean Custom, that's dope. Yeah, their pins were super cool, and their booth was right next to Chris's. That's cool. Oh yeah, amp shots. I have the same strobe, so yeah, I'm literally just so like here's our base exposure. Okay, that's zoomed in. Here's our base, and then we hit it with the first one. It wasn't bright enough here, so we turned the strobe up, and then we got more of this. It's all about the angle too. So you can see in this one here, I'm pitched further back and I'm aiming the strobe a little too outward, and then on this one I get a little closer and I shoot it right down onto the quarter panel there, and that's what makes that this color is extremely hard to capture, because when it's not strobed it looks black, and then it's when the light hits it right you get that blue. That's why white cars are great. White cars are so easy. If you want to learn how to strobe, I would learn on a white car first, because white just takes the light perfectly. Alright, so we'll get rid of this hotspot too. There we go. This is starting to clean up nice. Got a little bit to get rid of there. Smooth that out. There we go. We have a hot spot caught on the door here we need to get rid of. We'll get to that later. Yeah, I do not use the softbox. I just straight hard light. Alright, this one's going to be a little tough to get rid of, but not impossible. So we're going to use this area of the blue, since that's the most like clean blue we have. We're going to use that to make our sample area even bigger. So we're going to slowly creep in, and then we're going to go the other side and start creeping in that way and kind of create a merge of the two sides of the hotspot. Okay. I hate that I have this camera plugged in and it's still dying. So this feed might cut out shortly. Probably keep it going for like another 10 minutes and then I'm going to call it a night on this one, guys. Let's see how far we can get. Alright, so this looks bad right now. This looks terrible right now, but I'll show you very shortly how we're going to merge this and blend this all together. Alright, so we have our hard dark blue here and our hard light blue here. So we're going to select this, copy it over, move it in a little bit, go a little more. Erase this side here, so it's like it's not even there. And now erase this side and start creating that blend. Then we'll go back here, get our light blue. Bring that on in. Put that above our other layer. And erase from the back end, and erase from the front, and zoom out. Alright. So when I zoom out, we still have a pretty hard line. So let's merge those three down together. we're going to take a nice sample size here. Lower the opacity down to like 10%. Nah, maybe 30 or something like that. And we're going to paint backwards. And because we're doing that low opacity, it's not applying it at full 100%, and that will give us that feather out. Alright, I haven't paid attention to chat for a minute. H2O, yes, if you are thinking about coming to H2O, you need to go to H2O. We got two little guys. There's still more that needs to be done down here, but I don't like to stay on one specific area for too long because then I kind of get too used to seeing it, and it's always good to come back with like a fresh take on it. So clean up a little more here, merge this one down, that's good. We have this random dark blue peeking up. Let's just get rid of that there. Amp shots, for the most part, I just taught myself this like just by doing it. Some good channel, I would just like whatever specific task you're trying to learn, I would just do. I mean, not do. I would just go like YouTube or Google that specific task and try and find a good channel. A good channel that I can think of off the bat is Flern, P-H-L-E-R-N, P-H. It's learn, but PH instead of learn. They have great stuff over there. I'll check that out. What flashes would I suggest? Whatever you could afford, really, as long as it can be triggered off camera. That's the most important thing. If you want to be able to strobe and during the day and be able to like overpower the sun, you're gonna want at least 320 watts. So that's a number to look for. Let's say if you have a budget like 500, I'll pick up. Do I have it here? I left it in the car. The Flashpoint Explorer 600. It's a great strobe. 600 watts. Plenty of variable intensity adjustments. Transmitter works at a very good distance. It's a great product. All right. Let's bring this one back in. Let's get rid of what we don't need. I'm actually going to be shooting photos of the new Supra tomorrow. I'm super stoked to get that done. And it's in yellow too. Just got to fill in that there. I do want this top half of the fender, and we got a little bit of strobe action on the door pillar there. This is going to suck to clone out. And again, these hot spots are the cause of just the body or rather the strobe hitting the wrong angle on the body, and that's my fault. But we're in a little bit of a rush, so we will do what we can and fix it later, which is what we're doing now. Okay, yeah, Lenian. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but basically what causes those hot spots. Say, find an example. Say this is like the curve, yes, like the curve of a fender, and we have a light hitting it. If it hits it at the wrong angle, it's just the reflection of that hot spot. So if we're hitting it at this angle and it causes a hot spot, then we kind of have to turn the light to a different direction so it rolls off the fender at a different perspective. Say like you're in a parking garage and you're looking at your car and you see the reflections of all the lights, but if you walk around, the reflections of the lights are no longer on the body, but the car is still lit up. So that's basically what caused this problem here. And if I had more time, I could have shot off a few more where I stood in different places and struck the fender with the light. I would have found those spots where I could have lit the paint but not caused any of that. But here we are, fixing our problems with Photoshop. When it comes to music, I mean, first thing, I would just use music you genuinely like. Like I wouldn't worry about copyright. There's a difference between like copyright strikes and copyright claims, and a copyright claim isn't really a big deal unless you're trying to make a living off YouTube. And unless you're like TJ Hunt, you're probably not gonna. So I would just start with music you like, and if it works, it works. Like, you'll know if it works. But it's all about just like exploring, you know, finding one artist and seeing who he follows or she. You know, where did they get their inspiration from? And it'll all just snowball from there. So we got a little pale spot there. Take it with the Dodge brush. Dodge brush. Hey, Leonin, thank you for the dono. I appreciate that. Layer 4. There we go. Oh, yeah. Alright, now that'll be a lot more obvious and clean to get rid of. Resolve is great. It takes some getting used to. The interface is a little, I don't know, clunky to me. It definitely doesn't feel as smooth as Premiere, but for color grading's sake, like, it blows Premiere out of the water. The flexibility and what you can pull off in Resolve is really good. You just need to get used to it. But I mean, other than Resolve and Premiere and Final Cut, that's really it. Unless you want to use Avid, but Avid's a whole nother thing. That still needs some work up there, but I don't want to keep you guys locked onto one spot for too long. Keep it interesting. Yeah, lighting is a big challenge, 100%. I mean, there's nothing like wrong with shooting natural light too. So I don't want anyone to get that idea that like your photos can't look good if they're naturally lit. This is just a style I'm into and the type of work that I want to pursue long term. You know, when it comes to advertising, I'm like very interested in high key commercial photography with artificial lighting. So like shooting cars like this is like practice for jobs like that. Got this hotspot up here. It's on a curve, so that, yeah. When the hotspots are on the curve, it's a little more tricky. Okay, we're zooming in as much as we can. Yeah, Evan, like a good something a commercial photographer Andrew Link taught me is that cars are designed to be lit by the sun. So when you think about the sun lighting a car, it's at like 12 o'clock. Picture like 12 o'clock noon, like high noon. That hard light is pushing down on the car. So another good example would be, let's see, car under street lights. Okay, so something like this. Cars, when they're lit from the top, you can see all the side body lines. You can see the lines on the fenders, the shape of the fenders, the side skirts, the way the trunk is. So, like, if you ever notice, like, next time you're driving at night and you pull up behind a car and your headlights are blaring right at the trunk and the back bumper, it looks very bad. So, like, car body lines are not designed to be lit from low. They're designed to be lit from high. So, like, this picture of a Beetle. Like, see how good the door line looks right there, and the fender, and the back fender here. Let's try and find one more. Okay, yeah, we got a nice little, whoa. Is it a Celica? Alright, it's not loading. I don't know, but yeah, something like that. I could take you through a few here. All right, yeah, so what would be a good example? So this is naturally lit, this photo, and this was shot at probably something like 2-3 p.m. We did use a reflector to bounce light onto the wheels. Oh, okay, yeah, no zooming in. No zooming in. So we use a reflector to bounce light on the wheels, but other than that, this is the sun hitting all these body angles that are angled up towards the sun. So say you have a door goes down like that, but a lot of times when manufacturers make a crease in the door, it faces up. So when the sun is out, it hits that side is hot, and then the shadow gets created underneath, and it's the shadows that create the shape of the car. Trying to think of another one here for you guys. So this is shot at high noon, and you can see how the height difference between the hood and the bottom of the fender here create this shadow here, and then this top part of the fender is a hot spot because we have the sun coming in at like high noon like that. So something of that nature is how to explain it. All right, it looks like our camera blacked out, dead battery. Let me see if I can change that. I think it's really annoying that I have a giant V-Lock battery plugged into this guy, and yet it still dies. have image? Let's see. Okay. I don't think the cam link is gonna take it without resetting it totally. Oh, ooh, we're back. We're live. What's up? Am I in focus? No. How's that? All right, we're back. What's up? Now I'm the whole screen. All right. Yes, this will be up for stream after the fact, so you can come back. Oh, now it's getting crazy. So you can come back and watch this later. Oh, this is all wonky. There we go. There it is. All right, back to normal. That would be a sick mini dock. All the homies. Maybe you should be the one to make it. Let's clean this up. Kind of rushing this one a little bit, but once we burn it down, it'll be clean. See, so we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. All right. I think we're gonna call it on this one. We've been streaming for 2 hours and some change now, so thank you for hanging out. I'm gonna post a few of these on Instagram tomorrow, so if you were here the whole way through, I definitely want to see you in the comments. And thank you for hanging out. Let's take a scroll through Lightroom at some of the other ones before we head out of here. So we started at this location. I thought it was gonna work, and then while we were shooting, I just like totally wasn't into it. We actually ended up at this one, and the light was amazing, and like just as we were staging them here, we got kicked out, which sucked, because I would have loved to work with this lighting in here. So we got a nice tighter front end shot, a clean polarized base plate, and then we strobe it here. Nice and sharp. That's going to be a pain to clean up, but yes, this is the better one. And then we have side fender. And side fender again. Look at that blue. Crazy. This is CS6. So it's not CC. This one's going to be some work. But I love the composition on this one. It's crooked right now. Let's fix that. Like, I love these lines in this circle here that leads into both the cars. That's going to be a fun one. We have this rear one that I started, and then I kind of quit on it. We have this fitment shot here. Whoa. Control Z that real quick. It's a little green. Then we have our rear 3/4 on the white RL. Our direct rear. Nice and sharp. And then we have that front one we just added, and we have this one. I like this one a lot. This will be a good foam background. Maybe I'll drop that tomorrow. Let you guys screenshot it. Have a nice little foam background. Woo! Look at that fitment. Fitment's out of focus because I was more on the center cap there, but yeah. Woo! My eyes are like kind of burning. That's another thing. When you do stuff like this, you got to make sure you take a minute to rest your eyes a little bit. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you for hanging out through the problems with the freezing earlier. Definitely want to do more of these. So be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you ended up here and you're not subscribed. Tell a friend to subscribe. Do something. I don't know. Have a good night. It is Monday night. Is it Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. So if you're going to work tomorrow, hope you have a good day at work tomorrow. Hope you enjoy your evening. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Peace, guys.